Congratulations on reaching your CJ Capstone project. This video has been created just to assist you as you are looking to compile your portfolio. One of the things that you can do is ensure that the content will be appealing to your new or prospective employer. And that can include any of the items listed here: your resume, cover letter, references, diplomas, academic transcripts, awards, employee awards, training certificates, industry certifications or publications, membership in professional associations, samples of your work, and of course, letters of recommendation. One of the things that you can utilize to create your portfolio is called LinkedIn.com. Maybe you have a portfolio already built out on LinkedIn, maybe you don't, but this is a great place for you to start. LinkedIn is a professional networking site. It is similar to all other social media in that you can create your profile. You can also interact with other people. You can look for jobs on here. You can share your portfolio with others, including employers, or even in this case, your instructor. But it's so much more scalable than that. LinkedIn, as mentioned, is a professional networking site. So, one of the things that you want to keep in mind is to keep all of your posts and interactions professional. With that said, you want to build out your portfolio profile first. And once you are able to log in and create your profile or your account, then you can build out the content. Let's look at this one here in front of us. So as you scroll down, let's just do an overview. You'll notice that there is a picture. You must use a picture on your profile because people who do not have a picture on their profile are deemed untrustworthy. And it's very important that you do have a professional picture of yourself on your profile. Preferably something that's going to be head and shoulders. You should be smiling or have a pleasant demeanor. If you do not like to smile for any reason, just look very professional and inviting. The next thing is you want to have your current job title and where you're located. This is going to be very important because as people are on here as job seekers, 95% of recruiters utilize LinkedIn to identify and interview candidates. So it's important that your profile be ready for them to do that. And it's also important that you put together your sections very, very carefully. So let's go down a little bit on this portfolio. Now, right now, because this is mine, I'm in edit mode, okay? So there are different sections to your LinkedIn profile or portfolio. One of the things that you're able to do on LinkedIn is create what they call a section that is a summary. So you can write a quick summation of who you are. This is where your 30-second commercial can go or your elevator pitch. We have more about that on our website. But as you scroll down on here, you'll be able to see as well your analytics for your specific dashboard or portfolio. This is an area that other people who are visiting your website cannot see. Okay? As you scroll down, you're able to look at the different sections. So let's just take a look at these. I won't dive in because I want to do the overview first, but I write articles, and any articles or activity that you have will also be listed in this section. The next section on mine is my work experience. So this is the part that mirrors your resume. So as you're building out your portfolio, you can simply take your resume and start to add in your experience, and we'll get into that in a moment. But this is where you're going to have the chronological order of your work history going from the most recent to the oldest positions. Okay? But the good thing about this is that with LinkedIn, you don't just have to list what you've done in a traditional sense. Kind of here, where I list what I've done and have some traditional bullet points, but other things that you can do are you could embed any of the artifacts or any of the things that you want to scan that are from your portfolio, but we'll get into that more in a second. That's what is really great about this and what makes LinkedIn a great portfolio to use. So once you get through listing out all of your positions, then you want to go into your education. So just like a resume, you want to be able to enter your education. You also can enter your volunteer experience. Here, I love where you can put in skills and endorsements. So basically, you list the skills that you have, and then people that you know endorse you for those skill sets. So here on this portfolio, you can see marketing, leadership, social media are the top three skills where I have the most endorsements. So 83 people were able to endorse me in marketing. That's one of the other good things about LinkedIn is it's interactive. So if a prospective employer is looking you up, which most employers are going to Google you before they call you for an interview or maybe even before they extend an offer to you, one of the good things is having your portfolio built in LinkedIn will enable them to, once they Google you, and I will put in my name, once they Google you, look at the first thing that pops up. So you want that to happen, but you have to have a profile in order for this to happen. So if you notice, I'm very active on LinkedIn. So most of the things on LinkedIn are going to be first. The other good thing about having your picture on your profile is there might be people who have the same name as you or are doing other things. And so you want to be able to differentiate yourself from those individuals because there are people out there who will have the same name as you. So that's another reason why you would want to have that. But when you build out a portfolio and you're active in your LinkedIn account, this is going to enable employers when they Google you to see that first thing. And so when they click on it, they're going to be able to go to your profile immediately and see who you are and what you're about, which takes us back to the endorsements and the skills. So as they're going through your portfolio, they can see the skill sets that you possess. And this is really some form of really a endorsement says that there are people who are affiliated with you in some way professionally who can endorse and really put a stamp of approval on the fact that you have that skill set because they've worked with you and they know that you have these skills. So it's a really good thing. These are actual people. People sometimes are very deceptive on their resumes. So when you have other people that can attest to your skill sets, then it really does help you when the employers are on here looking for you. Okay. So 83 endorsements on this, 81 on this, 56 on this. And then there are other core competencies and skill sets that I was able to select that I possess. So you can add your skill sets by clicking add new skill. And then whatever skill it is, you can add it in here. You can just type it. For me, sorry about that, guys. I have reached the limit of 50 skills on mine, so I'm not able to, but all you have to do is put the skill set there. So if your skill set is Microsoft Office, then you can put that there and add, and then it'll be added to your skill sets, okay? So you can do that, and then people who know you and have worked with you or have seen your work or in some way have been affiliated enough so that they know that you possess those skills can go in and give you an endorsement on the skills. Okay. So wonderful, wonderful aspect of LinkedIn. So show less, I'm just going to collapse that so that we can go back to a nice clean setup. And then the next section is recommendations. So you can ask for a recommendation. And typically this is something you want to ask of people that you've worked with, people that you've done volunteering with. Maybe you were in an internship and the people who were your leaders in that internship opportunity, it could be a number of things, but you really want to continue to create content here in LinkedIn that is all professionally driven, okay? Things that help with your professional brand. So you want to make sure that these are people who can attest to your character, the work that you've done with them. They can give you a testimony of your work ethic or your soft skills, or maybe it's some specialized skill that you have that differentiates, and really how you impacted them or impacted others, where maybe they've seen you impact the lives of others, maybe you've impacted that organization. But a recommendation is just that. A lot of times you guys have to give references when you go for a job, and a letter of recommendation may be required. So, one of the things that you can do is request that they give you a recommendation here on LinkedIn, and that way that recommendation is embedded right into your profile. So, for employers who don't know you and want to to know more about you, this is very powerful. And the more of these you have, the better. I've seen people who have had 50 of these things. I'm not one of those lucky people, but it really is on you to request these recommendations. So when you request them, then the person can write it. And then what will happen is you'll get an email saying the person wrote a marking, a recommendation for you. You get to read what they've written, and then you can accept it before it goes onto your profile. So they won't just be able to post it, they will write it and send it back to you. That way, if there's any editing or maybe any typos, you can send it back to them and say, hey, you know what, could you please make a revision on this? I noticed this was spelled wrong or whatever. So you guys can fine tune it. And then once it's fine tuned, you can post it onto your profile. Okay. You can also list your accomplishments. So I really love this section because it's filled with different things that may be more relevant to you as a new grad who may or may not have the experiential component, but maybe you have certifications, licenses, maybe you're part of a professional association. And every time you see a plus sign, this is where you can add these things. But for now, these are the ones I've added under organizations. So you can add in your organizations, you can edit them. So whenever you see the little pencil, it just means you can edit. Projects that you've worked on. So you can add the projects that you've worked on and any type of special things that you've done. And this could be in school or maybe a part of a project that you did when you were on an internship that relates to the job that you want, because all of that is seen as experience, right? So if you have any special projects that you've worked on over the years, add them in here. And that could be at the current job, old jobs, just you want to be able to show who you are and what you've accomplished and what you've done. And this is a great place to talk about that. This could be academic projects. Certifications. So if you have any certifications, then you can add them in here, and you can also go ahead and do a link to that accrediting body, okay, so that they can then really validate what this is. The next one is publication. So if you have written anything, maybe you have been published an article, maybe you've published a book, maybe you publish a blog, you can put all of that here and then have a link to it as well. Okay. So this is a very wonderful site. You can also have your interests. Now, this is a section that you can have showing on yours where other people can see what your interests are, or you can make this private. And actually, for any of the sections, accomplishments, recommendation letters, which I wouldn't really, you want that to be public, skills endorsements, you want to be public, but for any of these sections, you can just have them on here and you can share what you want with whoever you want to share it. Um, if they Google you, they may not be connected with you. So maybe you only want to share certain things on your portfolio, and once they connect with you, they can have access to all of it. So just really quickly, articles and activities. Here I have 1,487 followers. And so when I talk about building a demand for your professional brand, this is actually proof of how this can work. And so one of the things was to create all of my articles. You can click here. So if someone were an employer, they wanted to see some of my writing samples, they can click there and they can go and read any of the articles that I've published in here. So this is something that you can do when you're talking about artifacts and things that you've done. Um, for any of these. Now, I don't have all sections on my portfolio. So if I wanted to add sections, I could go here to add the different sections. So this is the introductory section, which includes the actual summation. You have your background section that includes work experience, education, and volunteer experience. So I have all of those there, okay, as you can see. Skills, I have included some there. Accomplishments, I've put some things into accomplishments, but maybe there's some extra areas that I could improve upon and actually have. So right now I have included one publication, one certification, but I didn't put any patents because I don't have any. But this is also a place where you can list your coursework. So if you have specific coursework that pertains to your speciality in criminal justice or anything that you do, you can add your coursework. You can add your projects. So here I have two projects. I don't have any coursework listed, but if I choose to do that, I can. I don't have any honors and awards listed, but if I wanted to, I could add those as well. Test scores. So if you have a, let's say you're going to law school and or you've applied to law school and the highest that you can get on an LSAT is a 180, and let's say you got a 175 or even a 180, then you can put that test score here. Okay. You can show how to be a fit for the job overseas opportunities. So if you've been working in an organization where you've worked in nonprofit or volunteer things overseas, then you can put that here. Organizations, this could be professional associations that you're involved with. So LinkedIn is a great place to build out your professional portfolio. Additional information is the stuff that you can also add to your portfolio. Sorry that that clicked away on us. Let's go here. So you can add the additional information. I'm sorry that I'm scrolling too much, guys. All right. So additional information can be that recommendation. So where you can ask for someone to write you one, and then you can post that up. And if you have multiple languages, then you can also add that into your profile. So this is a great place for you to build out your profile. Another good thing about LinkedIn is that you can also add the work artifacts. So, for example, in here, I have a little bit of a video here, and this video will play right here in LinkedIn. So if I were to press the play button, it's going to play here. It will never leave the actual LinkedIn interface. And so then the person can view that video. So if you have a video series that is professionally relevant to who you are, then you can post that up on your portfolio. Some of the things that I have on my portfolio are a little bit old, but I'm not job seeking. But if I were, then those things could be up here as well. Okay, so you can put different documents here. I'm going to click out of that. Um, Other things that you can do when I was talking about artifacts is here's a newsletter. So it's one of the things I do here at SNHU is I create a newsletter. So here the person can go and they can look at this particular newsletter here in LinkedIn, see the work that I put together. It's a great resource if someone wants to see a writing sample from me. They can click view, which is going to launch where that newsletter is actually found, which is on the sister site to LinkedIn called SlideShare. So you can also create a SlideShare account where you can update or upload any documents that you have. So maybe you want to upload your let's say your picture of your degree or maybe of a certification or a license that you have or anything. If you have a newsletter that you've written or other writing samples, you can do that. You can upload PowerPoints and then you can embed those, as you can see, into your portfolio here in LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a really great place because you can put in the artifacts for your portfolio that the person then can look at and be able to view. And again, this is another YouTube video. If the person wants to view it, they can click view and it'll take them to that particular site. So LinkedIn is a great place for you to build out your portfolio. And if this is something that you now want to share with your professor or with your instructor, then you can click more and then you can click share profile. Okay. And this will allow you to share it with them if you are linked in with them. If you are not linked in with them, then your other option is to save your profile as a PDF. That will download to your computer system. Once it downloads to your computer system, then you're able to view that profile. Okay, and this is what it would look like if you download that. So this is now my professional portfolio in a PDF. It's only 4 pages long, but you see it reads very similarly to a resume. Okay. One of the things that I do notice about this is that many of the artifacts are not showing, but the links to the artifacts are showing. So if you want to then have that embedded, then it will link up to that particular page or that particular asset that you have put on here. Okay, so that's a good thing about it. It won't have the actual playlist because it is a PDF, but all of the links that you created will still be there. Now, I do have an online portfolio that I've created through a site called Weebly.com, and I'll just show that to you very quickly. This is something that you can utilize as well. And if you are interested in knowing how you can build out a portfolio in Weebly.com, feel free to schedule a meeting with me, and I will be happy to walk you through the process. I'd like to just once again congratulate you on obtaining your just getting to the point where you are ready to do your portfolio and your capstone project. That means that you are ready to graduate, and this is that final step. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, Sonia Moffett. It's smoffett at or s.moffett at snhu.edu. Thank you so much, and good luck to you.